Let's talk about the
Let's talk about
eye.
sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things. Hey everyone, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. I am Jodi, the CEO of Prolong Lash, here with the adorable Alicia Phoenix, our head of marketing, and you are very excited about today's topic.
I am very excited. Today we're diving into branding and how it can make you stand out in a very crowded market and what you should do to brand your business and make it the best brand it can be.
Yeah, and then we'll explain a little bit about the difference between branding and marketing because that can get confusing for people too, and
Yes.
even advertising. We'll touch on some advertising as well. But for me, someone told me many years ago that branding, if you're a person, if you use branding in the terms of being a person,
Personal branding.
personal branding is who you are, and how you market yourself is how you sell yourself to people. So
Yeah.
that's how I look at it.
That is a good way to look at it. And that even applies when it comes to business as well. So there's, the branding of a business is like the essence of your business, like the core, the foundation, your business's soul. Like it's it is what your business is about. Whereas the marketing is how you bring people to your business.
Yeah.
So branding can be personal, it can be a business brand, it can be a product brand. Like everything can have its own individual style of brand. Okay, so let's talk about defining brand identity. So let's work out like how does brand identity happen? What kind of things do you need to do to work out your brand identity? So there's like questions that you could ask yourself, like about the brand or the service or the product. Like what problem are you solving?
Why don't you ask me some questions about Prolong?
What problem are you solving? As
Dirty
Prolong?
lashes.
Yeah.
People coming back with dirty lashes.
Yeah.
Fix them, clean them, help the lash artist spend less time refilling them.
Yes. That is the problem. That's why Prolong Lash came to be. So the product sort of came before the brand itself, but was our sort of core foundation to why a brand even had to exist in the first place, right?
So so we know it's a problem, we solve a problem in the market, but what makes us unique?
We're unique because of a number of factors, but we were the first to ever create an aftercare product for eyelash extensions. So that made us unique to begin with. Obviously, that has changed now. There's a lot of lash cleansers on the market, but what makes us unique is our dedication to being the best product that we can be. We invest time and huge amounts of money and resources into ophthalmological testing, FDA approvals, making sure that we are completely compliant all the time. We want the safest possible product. And there's so few lash brands that can say that, lash cleansers that can say that they truly have invested and care about the health of people's eyes and lashes.
And ocular health is such a big thing these days, isn't it? Everyone's talking about ocular health, and we've been talking about that for years.
Yes.
So it's attributes of your brand as well, isn't it? That's what we're talking about. It's what makes you unique, what makes you, what service you provide, or what difference you provide.
Yeah.
in your sector.
Yeah. So thinking about your brand at home, the first things we want to think of, what problem are you solving, and what makes you unique to other people that are also maybe solving the same problem. Most likely is your problem is that people want eyelash extensions and there are no good eyelash extensions around you in your local area. So that's your problem that you're solving. And what makes you different? That's going to be kind of the core of your brand. Why are you better than every other lash salon out there?
We like to think that we're trusted. So one of our attributes and one of our really strength in our branding is that we are trusted. So you might become the best lash artist in your area and become trusted. That might be what makes you unique, is that everyone that writes a review or everyone that comes and sees you, your branding is professional and they've been very happy with your service. So that's something you can hang your hat on.
Yeah.
That becomes part of your branding.
Yeah. And what impact do you have on your customer base? Like, what is the result of you existing, your brand being there? What changes are you making in the world? Like, I'm not saying that you have to be like rescuing the rainforest or something. The change might be that you're providing accessible, high quality services to people weren't available to those people before. So what problem you're solving. We did the problem that you're solving, but what impact are you having to your customers? Just quickly, before we move on.
Pointing. For those that you can't see, she's pointing at me.
I have some notes because I actually wanted to note down, and I brought it in, our Prolong Lash brand identity.
Oh, how exciting.
Because I think it's a nice thing to share, because we always have to make sure that our brand identity reflects everything that you do when you're representing the brand. So you're making a social media post, you're sending an email to someone, even our customer service team need to make sure they're reflecting our brand identity with everything that they're doing.
You're standing on your head at conferences. How does that go?
That's your personal brand.
Okay, right.
That's a differentiation. Yes, there's a Jodi brand, which is important to and an important part of Prolong Lash, but that's not Prolong Lash's brand exactly. That's Jodi's personal upside down brand. But the Prolong Lash brand identity, we've just come up with a one-liner, which I think that's something that you can do too when you follow that structure we're just talking about. What problem do you solve? What makes your business unique and what impact are you having? So follow through with those and think about them, and you can come up with a blanket statement that's sort of like your little mini Bible to live by, right?
It's like your Nike, just do it.
Just do it. Well, our tagline is actually the most loved lash aftercare or something like that. I can't remember now.
It is. Prolong Lash, the world's
most loved lash
aftercare.
You
love us. You love us somewhere around the world. Oh, goodness.
Okay, do you want to know?
Yes.
Do you want to know what our brand identity is? Okay. Prolong Lash's brand identity is to empower lash professionals through aftercare innovation and business growth tools. So everything that we do surrounds that. The reason we're making this YouTube video right now, or the reason we're making this podcast for you right now, is because we want to empower you through business growth. Like everything that we're doing is for a reason based on our brand identity.
Because trust me, I don't like getting up in the morning, putting makeup on and sitting here all day with Alicia after she's eaten garlic the night before. So
you love talking rubbish with me.
I do. No, no.
Oh, good.
No, you don't.
I did brush my teeth.
No, but we just don't do it to hear our own voices. We do it to educate, and educational videos and educational podcasts are what we set through every day. So I speak to people 2 or 3 times a day. I have resellers and partners call me, and we'll be speaking on a Zoom, and everything I speak about reflects that exact statement. Yes, of course I can help you with that. I'd love to talk to you about that, and that excites me. Our brand integrity, it excites me.
Yeah. And getting an email from you or getting an email from me might be quite different. You're definitely more relaxed, personable, friendly. I'm more professional, straight to the point. That's just my personality, my style, and that's our sort of personal brands, which is fine. But underpinned in all of that is the core values of our business. That is always on forefront of our mind.
So don't be scared of, I say this all the time, of putting your personality into your brand. Because as Alicia's just said, we're 2 very different personalities, but we both work for the one company and are very, very driven by our company strategy. So put your personal brand in there too.
Let's talk about brand values, because especially if you're going to have more than one person in your company, you need brand values. Again, to underpin all of your actions that you're taking as a business every day, as a company every day, you need all of your employees, everyone that works in your business to be in line with those values.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, it's not something you hold yourself to every single day, but it's something you do reflect back on, once a month or once a week, and make sure that you're staying focused. I mean, you've talked about empowerment. It's our number one value here at Prolong Lash, is to empower, educate, involve, be involved in the community, be part of that community, have good communication, make sure that we're accessible and reliable and trustworthy. Our values are all those things around more the communication rather than our product. It's it is about our product as well, but it's more about how we are perceived out there by you too. We want the feedback from you all the time about our personalities and how much we commit to you and our values. We get told all the time, "Oh, you're so trustworthy. You're so reliable. You're so giving. You're always at the conferences," and that's really important to us.
Yeah.
Like having those really hardcore values that we stick to, and integrity and professionalism. We throw those words around all the time, not just between ourselves and in our socials, but how we represent the brand when we're out there. All of us, whether it's 3 of us at a conference or 1 of us at a conference, we all feel the same about the values.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone has to be on board with it. And I found it really interesting what you just said about like product values, or not being about the product. But I think your product can have like its own set of values versus your company, especially if you have a physical product or service. I think it's easier just to mesh them into one. But, you know, our product values might be slightly different to our company values. I've also got our company values written down.
Look how organised you are today.
Because I think it's interesting.
Sharing
but
is caring.
You've mentioned them already, but
Okay.
we do have 4 set values that we live by, which is empowerment, you mentioned it, innovation, community, and integrity. And they're the things that we care about. And that doesn't mean that the cleanser can't have its own set of values, which would be safety, would be the highest one, efficacy. I don't know, you come up with something.
The safety and efficacy are really good ones, but they also have integrity and they also have trust. They're trusted, and they're you know, everyone loves them. They're a nice product.
Yeah,
they're a nice product. So they do have their own cause, but they're not unsimilar to ours. Because you think about the cleanser, you can dilute the cleanser with distilled water, so it also has value. You know, it has its own innovative. It has its own value. It has its own. It's empowering you to make extra revenue. So they cross over to brand and to company.
Yeah. So let's talk about how someone else can make their brand values, because it is kind of like a bit of a brain dump. Like you can just sort of put down all the things that you think about your brand and what you want it to be. So I'm just thinking about a lash salon. Like maybe you want your lash salon to be a certain things like comfortable, professional, and
trustworthy,
aesthetic. You know,
charming. It might be more of a feel or an emotion. It doesn't have to be something that's so set and
high value. And these things, like, just
respected.
Come up with a brain dump and then like pare it down. Like, say, if I say high value, what does that mean? That means I'm providing a really good quality service. That means I'm providing, you know, I'm using good quality products. Like, what are these things? You can break them down into smaller bits and bring them back again once you've worked out what you're really trying to say with each of those, and then just come up with a couple of core values and you can just stick with them.
So let's talk about the positioning statement, where you fit.
So yeah, that's how you define yourself in the market. Positioning statement. This is about the brand within the scope of the whole industry.
Exactly. So I'm going to ask you some questions so that this is something you can ask yourself too. So take notes here.
This is your template.
This is your template to this. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to work off the piece of paper so I get it right. Okay, so we help who?
Who do we help? So as a lash artist, you might be helping people that want eyelash extensions.
Okay. To do what?
Provide them with eyelash extensions. This is a basic answer.
With how?
With my extremely good eyelash extension skills and amazing high-end services.
And wonderful products that you use.
And Prolong Lash cleanser.
Yeah, of course. So they can
feel the best about themselves, be confident, wake up every morning feeling alive and alert and ready to take on their day. You know, you can get really full on about it. You can keep it really simple. But your positioning statement is like how you are going to affect the market. So,
and what benefit you're going to bring to the market. So that in a nutshell, then Alicia just said a sentence that any lash artist could use.
Yeah.
As part of your marketing.
Yeah. And that's what you think about when you're marketing. What am I doing? So let's go over that template again. Just gonna
Okay,
double check.
so we're going to double check it. We help who to do what with how, so they are benefited.
Yeah, but they are.
So
What's the benefit?
who, look at these words above me. Who, what, how, benefit.
Yeah, good one. So yeah, it's simple. Like, don't overcomplicate it, but you can be passionate about it. You know, at the start, I was a bit like, I'm a lash artist, and by the end, I was like, I make people feel amazing. Like, and truly, you do. So, like,
It's that personality.
be honest.
So yeah, so there's your statement. It's where you position yourself in the market.
Do you know Prolong Lash's positioning statement?
Well, I do. I'm going to read it because I always get it wrong, but I do have it. So
do you remember everything off the top of your head? We're not robots.
We help lash artists and salons elevate client retention and revenue through premium lash aftercare solutions so they can grow thriving businesses with confidence.
Yes, we do.
There we go. That's us.
That is our position.
And that is exactly what, it's one sentence, and that's above all our desks, and it's in all our heads, and that's it. That's our positioning in the market.
Yeah. And you can do that too.
Yay. Okay, so I'm going to let you run with this one because building your brand's visual identity is a little bit more up your alley than mine. My favorite color is blue. My favorite thing is standing on my head. And if I was to be packed in a box, it was something I could jump out of like a Jack in the Box. So that's a little bit about my visual brand.
Yeah, but a visual brand is literally what people see, what they see of your business. So we're talking logo, we're talking your colors, we're talking the fonts that you use on your social media posts, in your EDMs, on your website. Banging the table. Hit my funny bone. It's not as funny as they think. And even like your photography style, like if you've got Instagram posts and you always use like a certain filter or something like that, these things are your style that you need to keep on putting throughout your brand all the time so you get brand recognition. That's
Consistency.
People need to glance at something and go, I know that's Prolong Lash. I know. And you know what? There's a really good example of this I noticed the other day. So we were part of the first launch of Kathy White's new Lash Artist box.
Hi, Kathy.
Thank you for having us because we were really excited about that. And Kathy did a little like, who could it be? What's in the box kind of reveal with a very, very blurred picture. Like it was so blurred you couldn't see what is inside it. She said, guess who is my first brand? And all I saw was Prolong Lash, Prolong Lash, Prolong Lash, Prolong Lash. Because our visual representation is so strong, people saw black and white and they knew it was us. And that made me proud. It was like, everyone knows that it's Prolong.
Thank you.
Just in a blurry photo, you could not see the product.
And that's important. That's important for us. That's really good. So brand recognition.
For everyone.
Yeah, brand recognition.
Yes.
Really, really important.
At a glance. You just need people to know what they're looking at, especially in the days of doom scrolling where you're scrolling along and you're getting ads every 2 seconds. And we heard a stat about people, I don't know exactly the stat, so don't quote me, don't sue me. People scroll as much as the height of the Statue of Liberty every single day on their phones.
Yes, that's true. It was said to, we went to a conference yesterday, a seminar, and that was said to us. And that you've got 1.6 seconds to get their attention while they're scrolling up the length of the Statue of Liberty.
So at a glance, they need to know that they saw your brand, even if it's subconscious, even if they don't care about that today because lashes aren't on their mind today. They've got their appointment booked in 2 weeks and whatever. You are front of mind. If they recognize you at a glance, you just advertised to them for free at a glance because of visual representation, because of visual identity that you've created in your brand.
Very clever. Speaking about the same conference yesterday, they gave stats out on what's being used the most still. So Facebook, Instagram, everything else. So we're going to talk a little bit now about your experience, not just on social platforms, but your customer's journey through your website, your customer's journey through your customer service, returns.
Yeah.
What did they say yesterday that to work out something, to find out what people really need about your brand, go through your bad reviews, go through your, what did they say? Go through.
There's gold in your bad reviews. I don't know what they said,
Yeah,
but it is like essentially that the best information you're going to get about your business is in your bad reviews. Go to your 1 stars.
Yeah, go to
and
your
fix those problems first.
And that's part of your customer journey. So for us, for my side of things, operational, I know we're talking about marketing today, but for my side, to assist Alicia with marketing, I will sometimes say to her, we are getting so many comments about this, or we are getting so many comments about this. And Alicia takes that and turns it into a great blog, or her team turn it into a great blog or a great social that says, this is a myth, we're going to help you with this. So it's all about the customer's journey. It's all about your client's journey. If you're in a salon, ask for feedback, and that helps you with this area. It helps you with your branding.
And creating a brand experience is more than just customer service. That's a very important component of it. And you want the best customer service so that you retain your clients and enforce your brand and reinforce your brand. But it's like customer experience, which you can make really good pretty easily, actually. Like, tell us some great ways you can be a good customer service operator.
Customer's always right. No.
Yeah.
A good customer, having the knowledge, being educated, being empathetic, understanding, making sure that the customer knows that you are really trying to help them, that you're really looking into it. Be prompt, be swift, be proactive. Yes, we understand how you're feeling, and be on their team. Get them on your side. Be friendly, and then be informative. And then be driven by results with your customers.
Yeah. So everything you just said, I was trying to make notes mentally of everything you just said. And I can say that everything that you just said then can be applied to an in-person service with someone when they're with you. But all of those things can be applied to your brand as a whole. All of those things can apply to your website. You want it to be an easy experience on there. You want it to be user-friendly. You want them to be able to do the things they want to do on there. Do they want online booking? Give them online booking. Do they need to know what your services are and your prices are? Put that on there. All of these things can go across your brand everywhere. On your social media pages, are people making comments on your socials about things they want from you, about things that they need from you? Are you being proactive, like you said? Do you have frequently asked questions on your website? Can you tell them those in person? Yes. Can you put them on your website? Yes. Can you put them on your socials? Yes. It's got to be consistent across your brand as a whole. Make the brand experience as a whole the best it can be.
Yeah, make it accessible, approachable, all those words that we were using before when we were building values. They all come into play here as well. You want that to reflect in everything. You want that to carry down from what you've worked out, the first step we talked about today, right through to this experience.
Yeah.
Everything has to reflect those words.
Yeah.
So we've taken them on the journey. So now you want to tell them a little bit of a story. Let's talk about brand story. I worked for a company called Rip Curl, and I still believe till this day, their story was one of the most powerful stories that I was ever lucky enough to work with. But 2 guys in a shed, which is not an unusual story to start with. 2 men and a baby, 1 woman and 2 men in a shed with surfing addiction. They were absolutely surfing addicts. Decided that it was too cold to surf through winter, but they wanted to. So put some material together, neoprene, sewed it together literally, and went out surfing. Worked out that could get them through the winter months. Then designed some wetsuits, went the next step. And to this day, have the best wetsuit on the market with Rip Curl, and congratulations for that. It's a great story. But how they built around the story, everything they designed was authenticity was their main story. So all their advertising campaigns, even right to when I left in 2015, from 50 years ago, were the same. They were to do with that old back shed, to do with being innovators, to do with it all being built around the surf and water. Their story was a real success story, but it was also a story that you actually really enjoyed hearing about. So your story doesn't need to be as full on. Your story doesn't need to be have as much tradition, but their story reflected their brand right through to when I left, and even now. Their logos, they're kind of still old-fashioned, and they've still got that old feel about them. But yeah, Prolong Story is an interesting one too.
Yeah. And the reason that brand story is important is because it creates an emotional connection. It creates relatability. It creates understanding about those other values that you put in place as well. Not the values, but the reason that you exist, the problems that you're solving. It puts it all into context for an audience.
Yeah, it does.
So,
I know now, even surfing, sorry to cut you
No,
off then,
go
but
for it.
even now if I go out surfing and I'm wearing, and I do wear Rip Curl wetsuits, and I'm wearing the wetsuits, I get this flood of emotion coming over me. For me working for the company, I drive past the company's office, my head office where I used to work, to get to the water. I get this feeling of like, oh, nostalgia and emotion sweeps over me, and I get caught up in it all again, and I feel like, oh, I so miss being around the ocean. And that feeling is just because of the wetsuit I'm wearing.
Mm.
So that drawing into that emotion is really important for your clients. And I'm not going to tell you how to do it. It's difficult to explain how to do it, but the emotion of being on your journey is a really good part of your story and your brand.
I guess the good thing about a brand story is it's just organic. It's just literally like, how did you come to be? How did this brand occur? And like, sometimes it's something wild and amazing, like, wanting to invent something new because I was in desperate need to go surfing, or look at like Google a Richard Branson like Virgin brand story. Something like that is very inspiring and like crazy. But like realistically, majority of brands are not going to have that. But the Prolong Lash brand story is that we desperately wanted people to have better quality lashes. We wanted people to have safe lashes, to be able to look after their eyelash extensions, for them not to fall out within a week after getting them done, and to feel good about themselves,
Yeah.
and that's where our brand grew from and became what it was.
But your story is unique to you.
Yeah.
So your story doesn't have to be a massive story. It doesn't have to have a sad ending or a happy ending or a great start.
Hopefully it doesn't have an ending.
Yes, well, it doesn't have to have anything to make it your story. Your story can just be that you wanted to do lashes, you went and got your certification, you started doing lashes, you become really good at it, you decided to build a brand out of it, or that it's helped you raise your kids. You've been able to raise your kids as a single mum by able to doing lashes on the side.
That's such a
That's
good
a
point.
story.
That
So that's an amazing story, and that emotion in that story will resonate with so many people and will relate to so many people, and that can come out in your brand. It can come out that you've been a single mum raising kids, and you can be really proud of that. And that's a strong story.
Yeah.
And as I said, that'll resonate with a lot of your clients. They'll be like, oh, I know how you feel.
I love that. And you can turn any story into like a corporate story. Like that reminded me of a brand story that I saw on the back of a muesli bar box. And there is thank yous from the children of the family that own the brand of muesli bar, because it's like, well, this brand of muesli bar takes care of our whole family, and the kids like age 6 and age 8 or something have thanked the purchaser on the back of the box. Like, that's a brand story right there, just in like a thank you from kids.
Yeah, so your brand story is significant, it's important, and it's your story. So make sure that is really reflected in your brand.
Mm-hmm.
Be proud. So I think the points we've been over, the main 5 or 6 points that we've been over today, they build your brand. So then you've got your brand. So as you said before, we were just talking, then you have to protect it,
leverage it,
nurture it, leverage
Make
it,
the most of it.
respect it.
Mm-hmm.
All those words.
Exactly.
Like we brought out the aftercare products. So we've got the foaming pump and the concentrate, but then we have aftercare cards that go with it, so that we explain things to you. We have educational videos that you can link through our websites. So we haven't just bought out a brand and said, here you go, here's an aftercare, good luck with it. We've taught you how to raise revenue with that brand. We've taught you how to dilute it to make more money. Keep educating, keep leveraging your brand with whatever you need. Add products to it, add accessories to it. Whether you're the brand, add services. Pick your favorite services. Work the thing you're really good at. If you're not good at, you always tell me this story, if you're not good at Russian volumes, don't attempt it.
I'm good at Russian volumes.
No, but you said
I don't like doing
doing them. So
mega.
Sorry. How dare you? How dare I? Bite my tongue. But your business, you are more centered around the things that you leverage.
Yeah,
Which,
love a classic. I totally agree. Like, you've made this brand, you've created your story, and you don't then just want to print it out on a nice piece of cardboard and put it on your desk to just, glance at every now and then. Leverage it in every single thing that you do. That's what we do every day here. And you do that by use this in your social media. Make sure that your branding's on point. That means your visual guides that you've made. That means the values that you're underpinning every post with. Use it to create your aftercare brand. When you get your Prolong Lash Cleanser Concentrate and you create your own brand of cleanser, put your branding on there and make sure that it aligns with this brand guide that you have created for yourself. Make sure that you make the most of it and follow it. And that doesn't mean that your brand can never change as well. I'm just going to say that in there.
Yeah.
And just because you've chosen blue as your brand doesn't mean you can't start adding different hues of blue, or maybe you want to shift to purple. Like, don't freak out that I've made a brand and now I can never change it and I'll be unrecognizable. You can evolve it, grow it, and keep on working on your brand all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And also depends on the size of your story and your brand and where you sit in the marketplace, which we've talked about. If you are a little bit bigger and you get the options to go to trade shows, to turn up to conferences and take your brand to the masses, be proud, be noisy, be out there, be talking about it, be consistent with your messaging, but don't be afraid to offer it up in a goodie bag. Don't be afraid to put your name out there. So there's plenty of ways that you can market, not just through socials. If you're a little bit bigger and you're looking for that next step, start turning up to some conferences, start approaching conference organizers and saying, I want to get a stand.
Yeah. So
Take it to the
now,
masses.
without getting too far into it, you're talking about advertising now, which is
Okay,
a whole
yes.
nother subsection of marketing. But your marketing is, your brand is the business, the core of your business. The marketing
Foundation.
is how you share that with people. So like those social media posts and how you're getting it out there, your websites and things like that. The advertising is putting your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, exactly.
That
Getting it
is
out there.
getting a stand at a conference.
Getting it out
That
to
is
the
doing
masses.
paid social media ads. That is getting SEO boost on your website. So marketing is one part, and advertising is the best way to get your marketing out there.
We won't go into that today because we think
complicated.
we've given you enough, but maybe the next couple of weeks we might do we'll do a session on advertising, specific advertising for you using all platforms. But today we'll just leave it at that with your brand and your story and your values and your place in the market, and that's your guidebook. That's what you go by. We want you to be proud of your brand, have it out there, and whatever your story is, tell everyone about it.
Yes. Shout it from the rooftops.
Yay! Well, we hope that you've enjoyed today's little session that we've had. We got a little bit excited because we do like branding and we do like marketing. But thanks for joining us. It was great chatting to you about this.
Yep. If you'd like to give us a thumbs up, please. Feel free to leave any comments below if you have any questions. Check out our social media accounts. We've got TikTok, Facebook, all of the great things. We've also got our Aussie Lashwives podcast.
Yes.
And if you want to buy Prolong Lash or check out our blogs or want to see what our branding is like, go to www.prolonglash.com.au for Australia.
Thank you for joining us. It's been a great day.